There's something powerful about a man who doesn't chase. Something magnetic about a man who can walk away, and still be remembered. You've probably noticed it before, that quiet kind of man who doesn't talk too much, who doesn't try too hard. Yet, somehow, women seem drawn to him. Not because he's the loudest in the room, but because he's the calmest. Because he doesn't need to prove anything. When a man moves through life with presence, not pressure, everything changes. And here's the secret most people don't understand: attraction isn't built by what you say, it's built by what you embody. A woman doesn't cling to you because you make her laugh or compliment her beauty. She clings because you make her feel safe in your silence. Because you move with certainty when everyone else moves with noise. Today, I'm going to show you 6 quiet actions that make a woman attached to you, emotionally and psychologically, without her even realizing it. These aren't manipulation tricks or fake tactics, they come from Stoic psychology, the same principles that shaped warriors, philosophers, and kings. Because the truth is, when you become grounded like a Stoic, you become rare. And rarity, my friend, is irresistible. Now, let's begin with the illusion, the reason most men fail before they even start. Most men believe that the more they do, the more a woman will feel something for them. They think attraction is built through constant attention, through texts, calls, compliments, and showing up every time she breathes. But here's the truth: attention can create comfort, not attraction. A woman doesn't fall for you because you're always available. She falls because your presence makes her feel something deeper, something rare. You see, there's a hidden law of emotional balance. The more you chase, the more she withdraws. The more you cling, the more she detaches. Because the mind, especially the female mind, responds to value and mystery. When something feels earned, it feels precious. When something feels given too easily, it loses meaning. That's the illusion most men never escape, the belief that love is won through pursuit. But the Stoic man knows better. He doesn't chase, because he understands that what's meant for him doesn't need to be forced. He focuses on his internal world, his thoughts, his habits, his presence. And through that quiet strength, he becomes magnetic without effort. A woman clings not because you beg for her time, but because you guard your own. Not because you drown her in words, but because your silence speaks with purpose. In the modern world, this kind of man stands out like a flame in the dark. He doesn't need to prove he's valuable, he is valuable. And every woman, deep down, can sense that. So if you've ever wondered why the man who gives less often receives more, it's not because women love pain or confusion. It's because deep attraction lives in emotional contrast, in tension and balance. The Stoic understands this tension. He doesn't run from it. He lives within it. And because of that, women don't just like him. They cling to him. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. In the next part, we'll break down the first 2 Stoic actions, subtle shifts in behavior that quietly change how women perceive you. Let's begin with the first Stoic action. It's simple, but it will change how women feel around you forever. The first action is controlled presence, the art of being fully here, yet never desperate for attention. When you're with her, you listen deeply. You notice her words, her tone, her energy. You don't interrupt. You don't try to impress. You simply exist in that moment with quiet certainty. Because when you master presence, she feels it. It's rare in a world full of distraction, where every man is half present, always chasing a dopamine rush from his phone or ego. But you are still. And your stillness creates gravity. A woman clings not because she's obsessed with you, but because your presence gives her emotional peace. You're not chasing her energy, you're grounding it. She starts to feel different when you're around, more relaxed, more feminine, more connected to herself. She may not understand why, but she'll start to crave that feeling. That's the paradox of presence: the less you try to capture her attention, the more you already have it. And here's the Stoic insight behind it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you carry that kind of inner calm, you become a safe space for her emotions. And safety, to a woman, is the foundation of deep attachment. So the first action isn't about what you say or do, it's about how you exist. Your presence should feel like a pause in her chaos. When she feels that, she won't want to lose it. The second action is emotional restraint, not suppression, but control. Most men fail here. They overreact to small things. They text too quickly, explain too much, argue when they feel ignored. In doing so, they reveal the truth, their emotions control them. A Stoic man is different. He feels deeply, but he doesn't act out every impulse. He observes his feelings, like clouds passing through the sky. Anger, jealousy, excitement, all come and go. But he remains the same. This small behavior changes everything. Because when a woman sees that you're not easily shaken, she begins to trust you. She realizes she can bring her storms to you, and you won't be swept away. That's emotional dominance, not control over her, but mastery over yourself. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." When you no longer fear emotional chaos, you become free, and freedom is deeply attractive. Here's the psychology behind it. Emotions are contagious. If you're calm, she'll mirror calm. If you're anxious, she'll feel anxious too. So when you react to her silence with patience instead of panic, she subconsciously associates you with peace. Peace is addictive. She'll begin to reach out just to feel that emotional balance again. She'll text more. She'll talk more. Not because you chased her, but because you became the anchor she didn't realize she needed. But remember, restraint doesn't mean being cold or detached. It means you're selective about where your emotions go. You love with intention. You respond, not react. You know that a man who cannot master his emotions cannot master his life. That's why the Stoics trained their minds daily, through journaling, reflection, silence. They didn't kill emotion, they refined it. And when you live that way, you don't just attract a woman, you command her respect. Not through control, but through the rare power of self-discipline. These first two actions, controlled presence and emotional restraint, form the foundation of masculine magnetism. They make you unforgettable because they're so uncommon. Most men chase. Most men react. But you remain calm, composed, and centered. You live by the law of stillness. And in that stillness, she finds something she didn't know she was looking for. In the next part, you'll discover the next two Stoic actions, subtle shifts that trigger deeper emotional bonds and make her see you as the one man she can't replace. By now, you've seen the foundation, presence and restraint. They make her feel grounded, safe, intrigued. But the next two Stoic actions shift everything. They move you from being interesting to being irreplaceable. Because attraction begins in curiosity, but devotion begins in depth. And depth is what these next two actions create. Action 3, Purpose over pleasure. Every man reaches a point where he must choose, to chase pleasure, or to pursue purpose. The average man lets his emotions be dictated by attention, validation, or desire. He feels powerful only when someone desires him. But a Stoic man's power comes from within. When you live by purpose, not impulse, you stop seeking external approval. You no longer need a woman to make you feel worthy, because your worth is already rooted in discipline, consistency, and vision. And here's what happens psychologically. When a woman senses that your life has direction, that you're chasing something bigger than her, it creates emotional polarity. She feels drawn to that energy. She wants to be part of it. Because deep down, women don't want to be a man's purpose, they want to join a man who already has one. Your focus, your mission, your drive, those are your silent signals. You don't need to brag about your goals. She'll feel them in how you move, how you speak, how you prioritize your time. And when she realizes that your time is sacred, she begins to value it. When she sees that your passion is your foundation, she clings, not out of control, but out of admiration. A man without purpose is easily distracted. But a man with purpose is dangerous, because he can't be swayed. And that quiet danger is magnetic. Now, let's talk about something rare, silent compassion. This is where power meets heart. In Stoicism, compassion doesn't mean weakness. It means strength expressed through understanding. You don't need to show off your kindness, you live it quietly. When you treat people with respect, when you listen without judgment, when you help without announcing it, she notices. Even if she doesn't say it, she feels it. Because the modern world is loud with fake virtue. But a Stoic man doesn't need recognition. He finds peace in doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Here's why this action matters. It activates emotional safety on a deep level. When she sees that you can be powerful and kind, strong and empathetic, it awakens trust. And trust is what makes her cling, not out of insecurity, but out of genuine emotional connection. A Stoic man's compassion doesn't look like grand gestures or dramatic words. It's in the small things, how you speak when you're angry, how you listen when you're tired, how you care without expecting anything in return. Because true masculinity isn't about dominance. It's about stability. And stability comes from emotional maturity. So remember this. The woman who clings to you isn't clinging to your looks or your charm. She's clinging to the peace you bring, the direction you carry, and the kindness you express without words. That's the Stoic shift, moving from attraction built on attention to attraction built on essence. You're no longer just someone she likes. You become someone she trusts her emotions with. In the next part, you'll see the final two actions, the hidden behaviors that make a woman emotionally invest in you long-term, even when you're not around. This is where attachment turns into loyalty. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. By now, you understand how presence, restraint, purpose, and compassion build invisible bonds. But there's more, two final actions that take everything deeper. These actions turn attraction into emotional loyalty. They make a woman cling to you even when you're not around. Because when you master these, you stop being just a moment in her life. You become a memory she carries wherever she goes. Action 5, Emotional detachment from outcome. Here's the truth most men never learn. The moment you need her, you lose power. The moment you let go, you gain it. Emotional detachment doesn't mean you don't care, it means you care without clinging. You love with freedom, not fear. When a woman senses that your happiness isn't dependent on her actions, she feels something new, respect. Because in that freedom, she sees strength. You no longer text to seek validation. You no longer react when she pulls away. You remain grounded, calm, unbothered. Not from pride, but from peace. And here's the psychological truth. People chase what gives them uncertainty mixed with emotional safety. You create both by being open, but not attached. The Stoics taught that the only true control you have is over your own mind. You can't control her feelings, her choices, or her path. But you can control how you respond. That's emotional freedom. And when a woman sees that you can love her without losing yourself, she feels safe to love you without fear. Because deep down, she knows, you're not here to possess her, you're here to grow with her. And that is a love that never fades. Action 6, The art of disappearing to reappear. The last action is powerful, the art of disappearing to reappear. You see, absence tests connection. When you step back from constant communication, you allow emotional reflection to grow. It gives her mind the space to miss you. But this only works when you've already planted depth, when your presence has meaning. A Stoic man doesn't disappear to play games. He disappears to return stronger, more grounded, more refined, more intentional. In that silence, you're not gone. You're growing. You're living your purpose, refining your habits, expanding your world. And when you return, she feels the difference. Your energy carries weight. Your silence now speaks louder than any message could. Because when you can walk away without bitterness, and come back without ego, you show maturity most men never reach. And maturity is magnetic. She'll realize you're not like the rest. You don't seek her for escape, you meet her from strength. You're not her addiction, you're her calm. And that realization, that she's safe, seen, and still challenged, is what makes her cling to you without even realizing it. These 6 actions, presence, restraint, purpose, compassion, detachment, and withdrawal, are not tricks. They are a way of being. When you master them, you stop chasing validation and start embodying value. And in that quiet confidence, the world, and the women in it, begin to respond differently. Because the Stoic man doesn't chase love. He becomes love through peace, purpose, and power. In the final part, we'll close with a reflection, a Stoic lesson that will remind you why becoming this kind of man isn't just about women, it's about mastering yourself. When you understand these 6 actions, you realize something profound. It was never about making her cling to you. It was about becoming a man so grounded, so sure of who he is, that her only natural response is to hold on, because she feels safe in your calm. That's the paradox of attraction. The more you need someone to stay, the more they slip away. But when you stand rooted, when you're content in your solitude, the right person naturally moves closer. That's not manipulation, that's magnetic balance. The Stoics taught that you cannot control what others do. Only your thoughts, your actions, your peace. So let go of the chase, the overthinking, the need to prove your worth. Focus on your purpose, your composure, and your quiet power. Because when you stop chasing validation, you start attracting respect. Remember, women are not drawn to men who try to be attractive. They are drawn to men who are attractive. Men who lead with purpose, love with patience, and walk with stillness. So, be that man. The man who doesn't need attention to feel valuable. The man who gives peace, not chaos. The man who can love deeply, but never lose himself in the process. And when you become that man, you'll find that the right woman won't just cling to you. She'll trust you, respect you, and choose you, again and again. This is not a game of power. It's a practice of presence. The true Stoic doesn't win by control. He wins by calm. If this message spoke to you, remember. Your strength is not in how loud you are, but in how steady you remain. Stay grounded. Stay stoic.